So here I am in front of my computer, drinking some tea, listening to some jazz, debating what I'm going to talk about in my next video. When I happen to bump into this dumbfuckery here. God damn it, Jearanism. The fuck is wrong with you?
What's going on, everyone? It's Jearanism, back with another video for you today. I felt the need to get this information out because the government's lying to you, and I'm about to prove it, and just getting really ridiculous. I know I say don't trust me, but if you know me, you also know that I do my research and I would never come out with a video unless I was sure about what I'm saying. So with this one, I cannot be sure that 14 people didn't die and a bunch injured in some sort of shooting, but you'll be able to see by the end of this video while I'm pretty comfortable to say that that didn't happen.
I guess your whole video here is going to be all about the San Bernardino shooting and how you think that it was all fake. So nobody died, I suppose, and there were no actual gunmen, and none of it happened. And as much as I enjoy playing my joke where I tell you that I'm going to skip ahead because I'm tired of listening to your bullshit, I'm going to do that a lot more in this video because you ramble on way much in this one. So first skip.
Again, if you look into the shooters, they were wearing tactical gear. They were wearing bulletproof vests. Interesting.
Why is this so interesting? Why is somebody wearing a bulletproof vest so interesting that you feel like you need to point it out? Do you think that civilians are not allowed to own bulletproof vests? I mean, you can fucking buy them at Walmart. I don't understand your skepticism about a civilian owning a bulletproof vest of some sort. They are readily available. Is this one of your evidence for why it's a hoax? Because normal people don't own bulletproof vests, even though they are easily accessible and not at all a weird thing to own, I suppose? I don't know what you mean by interesting.
Let's look at some of these pictures. Okay, first, this took place in San Bernardino, California. It took place on San Bernardino Avenue, or East San Bernardino Avenue. We're looking at a picture of that right now. On the left side where the yellow X is, that is where the shooting took place.
This took me a bit to figure out why Jearanism was showing me this picture, because what he talks about next has absolutely nothing to do with this picture, so it was very confusing to me. And it wasn't until much later in this video that this picture actually becomes relevant. So I'm gonna actually have to re-edit his video so that it makes sense. And I'm not trying to make a straw man out of Jearanism. I just think that he is incapable of making coherent statements, and so he got his items all out of place. So we will see this image and talk about this image later in this video when it's actually relevant.
Then you'll see if even I can figure out these hoaxes. What are our media doing? I mean, these guys are all there with helicopters and they're reporters. They don't know shit. They work for the government. It's all a joke. Next picture.
Trying to figure out what was going on.
That's Paul LaCroix, who is telling us what his son texted him. His son was...
Oh, is that Paul LaCroix? That's who's telling us that his son texted him? Is he also telling us, I don't know, that he went to the moon?
I don't understand the need for this snide remark. Yeah, his name is Paul. Do you have any reason to think his name isn't Paul? I don't... do you have any reason to think that he wasn't actually texting with his kid? I don't understand your complaint about his name. His name is Paul. I don't know. Are you insulted by the name Paul? Is that your problem? The fuck are you talking about, Jearanism? The fuck?
And we're working this from multiple newsrooms.
This video here, I just wanted to show the ineptitude of the police department if they have confirmed that 1 to 3 shooters was responsible for this. Multiple people have been killed in a shooting, and we can confirm 1 to 3 shooters. You can't ask somebody who was at the shooting how many shooters there were. You can only confirm that there was 1 to 3. Well, was there 1 or was there 3? Come on, it's ridiculous.
I don't know what pampered-ass life you have lived, but you can't just ask people, hey, you know that time when you were running from your life because you thought someone was shooting at you? Yeah, how many people did you see shooting at you? That doesn't actually work. We were very terrible at remembering shit when we're in a stressful situation. We are really terrible at remembering shit when we're not in a stressful situation. Again, I don't understand your complaint. No, they haven't confirmed how many. They have a guess, which would be 1 to 3. No, they can't just ask somebody, hey, while you were running for your life, how many people were shooting at you? They might have other things on their mind at that moment. I don't know if this is really a criticism of the media's ineptitude at reporting things, or just a commentary on the fact that people are terrible at remembering shit.
So you see they shut down every street in the city, they put people on buses, they locked down 70 schools. All this stuff is fake. It's all a hoax so that everybody's scared and everybody's going, thank God we have these police to come through our homes with these big guns and these tactical gear and the SWAT teams.
So I just want to point out that I need everybody to remember that Jearanism is saying that it's all a hoax. And this is going to become very important later on when we discuss how many people need to be involved in order to make this hoax happen.
Cops confirm 1 to 3 possible suspects. That's confirming what? I can confirm I have 1 to 15 kids. Does that tell you anything?
Alright, we get it. You don't like the fact that everyone in the world doesn't have a photographic memory and doesn't stop to count how many people are shooting at it.
Next. Alright, I'm about to show you every bit of this hoax, every bit of the lie, prove it without a doubt. I want to see somebody contest me. Somebody say that this is an actual event and the people who were in the black SUV are responsible for it. You can't. It's a hoax. I've got proof.
I'm not going to prove to you that this actually happened. Honestly, I don't think I can because you're so up your own ass that you wouldn't listen to me. What I can do is that I can point out how stupid you are in the claims that you are making. So I'm going to do that instead.
Here comes, let's watch this first.
Megan, I'm going to set all this up for you, too, and give you a little bit more about what Peter King and you were just speaking of, about the names that are being thrown around. I just got off the phone with law enforcement. They tell me one reason why it's being handled very delicately, is because they can't get inside that SUV still. They do believe it's potentially booby-trapped or has explosive devices. They do believe there's more information about the suspects inside, but those names being thrown around potentially could lead them down the path.
So that they can come up with...
Okay, stop. The fuck are you doing? I know that you have access to video editing equipment, which is why I am amazed that you didn't bother to stop that video and then talk afterward. So I am gonna skip a shit ton of your video because you do this throughout like the next 20 minutes. You do nothing but talk over someone else talking. And besides the fact that I don't want to listen to your voice anymore, I also can't actually understand half of what you're saying because there are 2 people talking at the same time at me.
Here comes the video. Take a look. It's the first time it's been seen anywhere.
Okay, I'm going to kind of talk you through this, and I'll let you watch it without me talking in a second. But here comes the black SUV with its hazard lights on, cruising nice and slowly down the street. Now they hear the first shots. There goes the SUV. I've counted how many cars are after the SUV, and it's basically 13, of course. There goes a cop car there after the SUV, so let's say it's 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking maybe 5 or 6. This guy's hiding. Get back up. 7, 8, there's the truck. Look at the gray truck. White car. Everybody's just cruising. There's a van. This guy gets out of his car. And in a second, you're going to start to hear all the crazy shootings.
Oh my God.
There goes a white truck.
Oh, they're killing that guy.
And now you hear all the shots. Let's hide. Oh my goodness. Shots fired. Like that's what people yell when they're video recording. Okay, there goes another 2 or 3 cars. End of video. Can these guys not see the hoax right in front of them? You're telling me the guy who recorded the video didn't notice that that black SUV just stopped down the street? You don't start walking down that way or anything?
Are you seriously suggesting that a dude who is filming with his iPhone camera should run towards gunfire just to satisfy your ridiculous need for video evidence?
It's a joke. We're watching the video again. Here comes the black SUV, flashing its hazard lights. Then you see the shots start running out. Oh no, this car's taking off. Again, you can see the exact order of the cars that go after it. It goes black SUV, then the cop car, then the black SUV cop. Then you got a maroon car, then there was like a beige truck. You got the beige truck, a white car, beige truck.
There was gunshots. There was shit. Oh,
All just cruising. Then you got the van.
Let's get out of here.
I mean, that is nothing's going on there.
Oh my God.
They're all just driving, and then they park at the end of the street, and the setup is going on far beyond that.
Close the gate. Close the gate.
I can't believe that they take the time
We have gunshots.
to put these things together.
Oh my God, right in front of us.
Took a little bit of planning, but they are still idiots because they've completely disproven their own theory.
This is pretty much the crux of your argument, Jearanism, that you can identify every car that went by based off of a shaky, crappy iPhone camera video. You somehow have the ability to identify these cars. You don't really explain how you know this, but apparently you have this crazy ability.
Alright, let's watch it again.
Meaning they have armor on. That's
There's
what
our
they
street.
believe they're going after. Whether that's true or
Can
not,
even
we
see
won't know,
where
of
the
course, until
guy's
this all
car is
plays
parked
out,
that took the
but they
video.
have to go with
Whether
that
he's next to
being
somebody else's
the
car, I don't know
possibility or
that.
the situation right
Here's
now.
your
So bro, we'll
scene.
keep you updated.
You're telling me he didn't know
tell.
that everything stopped right here? There's your black SUV. You've got the cop car that was after it, then the black one, then the black cop car. You can see the red car up against the curb. Then you got your white truck, your beige truck, your van, your other car. All the cars that passed the guy are right there. So how is that the black SUV? It's not. Look at what the black SUV would have had to have gone through, or what would have had to happen after it for that to be the black SUV. Then you have all these cars set up and people running. How did the black SUV get through all that in 38 seconds? Then you've got these guys who are all able to manage, get all behind here with the guns. This is a setup.
So, Jearanism has a very interesting idea on how the events at San Bernardino went down. I think it's because he wants to jump onto this idea that it's a hoax, that he completely throws out any amount of skepticism that he has. He just sort of wants it to be this way, so he's going to fit everything into his narrative to make it work as if there is a conspiracy. The biggest problem that occurs here is that there is a time delay between when the video was filmed, the handheld iPhone video, and when the helicopter actually flew by. For whatever reason, Jearanism thinks that the helicopter video is perfectly aligned to when the iPhone video was taken. That's sort of his take on it. So let's look at this claim. Alright, so what you are claiming here is that if we look at the helicopter flyby, we will see something along this way. We see cop cars going down San Bernardino, and then right around here is where that video, that handheld video, was taken. The helicopter going by is happening maybe a couple of seconds after the video was taken, and then here is where you think that the black SUV is supposed to be. This black SUV here is the black SUV that was seen in the video. How you can tell that is beyond me. I don't know why you think that that is the same black SUV. There's no particularly defining markings on this one black SUV that makes it apparent that it has to be the same one. Even in this video, this little clip here, I see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more black, 6 more black SUVs in this picture alone. So I don't know how you can tell that this is the same one. I don't know if you think that black SUVs are extremely rare, and so rare in fact that you should only ever see one on the same street at any given point. I don't know where you get that idea. But for whatever reason, you claim that this is that black SUV. So remember, this is the SUV that was being chased by the police. Okay, your next claim then is that the helicopter is, I guess, focusing on the wrong SUV. So the black SUV that we saw in the video, according to you, had to make it through all this mess of cars that you see here, because all these cars were set up beforehand. So this giant pileup of cars right here has been set up minutes ahead of time. Now remember, all of these cars are set up beforehand, all right? And then the black SUV, according to you, can't make it past these cars, therefore it cannot be the SUV that we see later on. And your last bit of evidence is that I guess this black SUV here, the one that the helicopter stops and focuses on, is not the same one that was seen in the video. This is a car that has been set up beforehand and is just sitting here waiting for the helicopter to come over and take a look at it. That is your claim. So all of these officers that you see running here, all of these officers that you see waiting here, all of them have been sitting around for, I don't know, a couple of minutes maybe longer, waiting to be told that they can now, move onto this black SUV. All right, so quick recap. You think that the helicopter shows the instant right after the handheld iPhone camera footage, and that it shows the black SUV that was in that footage parked about a block away from the final SUV that is shown that is being swarmed by cops. That is what you are telling us is the story. So let's talk about the problems with this. The first problem with this is the amount of people that would need to be in on the conspiracy. Now, you earlier said it would only take like 10 FBI agents. I don't know why you think it would only take 10 FBI agents, because you're telling me that over here, when you have this giant pileup of police cars, that none of these policemen are at all involved in this conspiracy. So somehow their sergeant or whoever told them, hey, go take your police cars, park them on the street, and just sit there and wait until I tell you to. While there is a manhunt going on for 2 to 3 potential suspects in a shooting, so none of these officers were allowed to take part in that manhunt. Instead, they were told, no, all of you go park here and wait. Then they were given an order to go and run towards this black SUV down the street. Not just that, you then have all of these officers sitting here, and all of these officers are also given the order to park ahead of the mound of officers we saw earlier and wait until they are given the order to rush this black SUV that already has a body out there. And when they are waiting to be given this order until the helicopter is over it, and so the helicopter can record it. I don't know if you can tell how many people are here, but that is way, way more than 10 people involved. That is a shit ton. That's not even including the people, say, in the first intersection where you say the original black SUV is, where, again, now you have, all of these people here who must also be involved in the conspiracy, because you have both officers that are showing up that are chasing the black SUV, which are suddenly told, no, stop, we're done chasing this one. They're also involved. Every car parked here with either a civilian or police officer has somebody involved in it, because they all had to stop there, watch this chase, watch it stop, and then nobody said, hey, this is kind of weird. I just watched these cops chase this one black SUV, and then they stopped chasing it all of a sudden. And your one bit of evidence for this is the fact that somehow, without any distinguishing marks, you can tell that this SUV here is the same one that is seen in this crappy motion sickness of an iPhone video. That is your one bit of evidence. You are insane. I have no other words for this besides the fact that you are absolutely batshit crazy. You have no proof. You have a crappy iPhone video. You have some mystical ability to tell apart black SUVs from one another. And you have what I can only assume is somewhere around 50 plus people, probably more, of the San Bernardino Police Department involved in a conspiracy, all of which are staying entirely silent about the fact that they just took part in a fake mass shooting.
I know she's okay.
But let's just put it this way, if it wasn't for them making these events happen, then there would be no events happening. And this person is fine. What, does she have a scrape on her arm? I thought they murdered and shot a bunch of people. This is not what happens in shooting scenes. These people are all just crisis actors. Believe me, I know some. What is this lady? She's already got a cast or a sling on her arm? Just walking around.
Where exactly do you get your expertise on what shooting victims in a mass shooting should look like? Are you a paramedic who has been through mass shootings, who has seen, oh, this is what actual victims of mass shootings look like? Do you have some sort of expertise in this area? I don't know if you've ever said that you were a doctor or a paramedic or anything, that you would know for sure what this would look like. But I get the feeling that you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Not just that, now you are adding even more people to your conspiracy, because now it's not just the cops and the FBI who's involved. Now you have this whole set of the medical system in San Bernardino also being involved. You have fire departments and ambulances who are all at this scene, all of which I guess are either crisis actors or real paramedics who are somehow treating fake wounds and again aren't coming out to say anything about it. So you have a whole set of paramedics who are here, and people are coming up with them with scrapes, and instead of saying, hey, you have a scrape, we're going to triage you and say you're fine, and put someone on the stretcher who doesn't have a scrape. You are telling me instead that they are just putting people in stretchers and sending them to hospitals. On top of that, this person with a scraped arm now is going to the hospital in an ambulance, and when the ambulance shows up, they tell the people at the hospital, hey, this is a victim from the mass shooting. And then they get to the hospital, and the doctor's like, well, you just have a scrape. I don't know why they decided to bring in an ambulance here. And that doctor isn't saying anything about it. So you have the entirety of all the hospitals in San Bernardino who are keeping quiet about fake victims coming in, or you have this massive group of people here who are all crisis actors, all of them with fake ambulances and fake fire departments or fire trucks and fake uniforms, all here, while the real ambulances and the real fire departments are being told to stay away from this area, none of which have come out and said, hey, I'm being told to stay away from this area, because if they had actually shown up and had seen someone being treated for a scrape by being put on a stretcher, you think they might say something. Overall, you are just adding more and more people to the problem. And Occam's razor tells me that the simpler solution, the solution that a mass shooting actually took place because we have experiences with mass shootings not just in the US, but across the country being committed by radical Muslims, is actually a thing that happens, where you have no evidence to show that mass shooting hoaxes are a thing that happens. We have one is way simpler to explain than the other one. One requires a couple of people who have taken their beliefs to an extreme. The other requires 100+ people with fake uniforms and fake ambulances, all arranging together to create a hoax, all of doing it live in public without getting caught by anyone else but Jearanism, with his great ability to distinguish between different black SUVs. You are insane.
Guys, I know it sounds crazy, but the government is the one scaring people on purpose, saying that there's mass shootings when we have guns available, and it's causing these mass shootings to happen. I'm about to show you what I mean. And it's just a lack of truth. The gun policies are fine. In fact, everyone should have a gun. That would eliminate crime. But that's another story. We certainly don't have mass shootings going on because guns are available. It's the government themselves going into these places. Who knows what they're shooting? Walls? Nothing? Who knows? But this is so obvious. I'm about to show you why.
This is the part of your video that pissed me off the most. The fact that you are coming out and complaining about how the government is trying to fearmonger, how the government is the one making people afraid so that they can take your guns away. Now, I have no problem with you pointing out fear-mongering. I think fear-mongering is disgusting. I extremely dislike the fact that the media, both sides of the media, take advantage of people and promote fear, from everything from razor blades in your candy apples during Halloween to the war on Christmas. I think it's all insane. My problem with you, though, is that you then go ahead and do the same thing. You then go and say, you should be afraid of your government because they're trying to take away your guns. You should be afraid of your government because they are faking all of these mass shootings. Jearanism, you're a fear-mongering son of a bitch. That is what you are. You are no better than the people you say that you are exposing. You are doing the exact same thing. You are feeding off of people's paranoia and fear in order to make videos. You are a disgusting son of a bitch.